Hi, my name is Nachiket and I will explain my personal project in CMPE281 here. For simplicity, I have divided this project demonstration in three parts. In part 1, I will explain or go walk through the complete demonstration of the project. I have four tenants in the project and I'll give also a little explanation while we are doing that. So let's move on to that part. So this is a simple login page that I have provided for a grader. So when you log in, you will land on this simple dashboard in which you will get to see the four tenants. When you click on each tenant, you will get to see the different criteria in which you can grade and everything. So let us try and test Akshay's module. So I will upload this test1.zip and upload this zip, and the jar is working, and it will create a simple class diagram and bring it to my front end. So one thing I would like to note here is that this particular link, this is the link of the classic load balancer that is being working behind the scenes and trying to route each request to a proper API. So this is the path where the jar is creating its image, and as Akshay is default tenant, this particular link has no extra tenant specific information, which I will just show here. So for Laura, we create this particular image. Now now this jar creates its output image at this particular path, which is different from Akshay in this sense, and this is where the classic load balancer is working. So for each tenant, I am giving a particular string which identifies or which tells the load balancer which EC2 instance it should be routed to. Now let us check for this third tenant if it creates a particular image. So this also creates image, and the image is created at this particular path Suchi. And for a last tenant, that is Apur, let us try and check if the jar is working. So the jar is working, and this particular image is created in this particular EC2 instance where I'm this part Apur. So basically this was a simple overview of the front end. One more thing in the front end is that there has been provided a tenant specific customization. For Akshay, I'm giving if the answer is correct or not and marks in 0, 1, 10, and for Laura I'm giving this correctness and grade, which are ABCD. For Suchi, I'm giving correctness, which is percentage, how much percent you a grader finds the image to be correct. And for this particular tenant Apur, I'm also giving a particular field of comment if the grader wants to insert a comment or something. So now in another video I will explain how my EC2 configuration is there, how my gateway is working, and the simple Postman demo. Thank you. Hello friends. So in part 1 we went through the complete demonstration of the front end. Now in part 2 I will explain detailed EC2 configuration that I have used, gateway configuration, and simple Postman demos of each and everything. So this was my simple login page in which you can enter password and you land on this tenant specific customized front page. So let us see how its EC2 configuration is done. So basically I have created a separate EC2 instances for each tenant, like for Akshay, Laura, Suchi, and Apur. Each tenant itself acts as a complete standalone application. You can see that I have given simple front end to these servers so that this demo can easily be understood. So this particular is for like tenant Laura, this particular is for like tenant Apur, and similarly for other two uh, tenants also. Let us just check that. So this was for tenant Apuru and this is for tenant Suchi. Okay, and this is my particular front end. You can check the IP address here. Okay, so this basically is my complete EC2 instance structure. We can even check this particular command line is for tenant Laura, this is for tenant Akshay, this is for tenant Suchi, and this is for tenant Apur. All the nodes are running, and also you can check this particular is for my portal. This particular is for my portal. So this was how I created my. Okay, so basically now we have covered the EC2 instance directory structure. Let's move on to how I have routed different API requests to different tenant. For that I have created a simple load balancer here. That load balancer has this particular name, which will just show up in a bit. Okay, so this is the load balancer name. The load balancer works in a following way. Like, I have created this load balancer for default listener, that is tenant Akshay. So if I copy this, and in Postman if I click if I like put that particular load balancer's address here, it should bring me the default listener, that is my tenant Akshay. So it is bringing me this. Now, as I told, that I have created this load balancer depending upon the particular string. This string will redirect to different EC2 instance. So if I put here Laura, it will, okay, I guess the portal has stopped. Okay, so basically this should run on 3000 port, right? Okay, so this will bring me the server of tenant Laura. Similarly, for other, this should bring me the tenant server for Suchi, and similarly, if I put Apurva here, it should bring me the, yeah, okay. Okay, so it should bring me the server that was specifically created for Apurva. Now let's move on to this listener thing. This is the listener for the default listener, that is the Akshay, and this particular list tells how I have done the routing for other. Now we can see these two entries for each tenant. This is because I have to bring the image also, that is created by the jar. This image is created in a separate directory structure, which is different from this slash suchi or slash localhost. So to give the access of entire directory structure that is created ahead the name of tenant, I have given this access to the EC2's that particular tenant's directory structure. So this can easily be checked like here. So if I create this image from this jar, this particular image is created at this position. So for other tenants, only basic write is enough. Like, for, let us suppose if I am checking for this tenant. Okay, so this image is created at this position, which is a directory ahead this particular thing. So this is why I am giving right to each to the directory structure that is created ahead localhost on that particular EC2 instance. So this is how I am like managing all the directory and EC2 instances. So in part 3 I will cover how RDS is working on my instances. Thank you. Hello again. So after part 2, let us move on to part 3, in which I will simply tell you the or show you how my RDS is working, and some important points that are the like feature of my application. So the important points, one of them is like my entire solution is contained in Oregon AWS region, and I have, as demonstrated earlier, I have used an application gateway load balancer which routes to different EC2 instances depending upon the specific tenant through which request is made. I have used full successful tenants in the application, And I have also used multi-tenancy in RDS database by managing extension over columns, which I will just show in a minute. I have given a simple grader login page that demands for password and username. I have given tenant specific customization while giving grading, that I will simply tell you in a bit. The technology stack that I have used for developing this project is Node.js, and there were two problems that I faced prominently during the development of this project. One was how to bring the created image on the front end, which we already discussed in another second video, and one was cross origin request, which usually Chrome blocks. This was solved through using different headers and making them headers available on the server. So let us move on to the RDS. This is the RDS instance, which is in Central Canada region. This RDS instance has been attached with this particular workbench. I have used two tables, one for tenant specific data, and one for common tenant data. So the tenant common data has mapping of tenant name and tenant ID. So I'll just refresh it so that another table is reflected here. Okay, and this tenant specific data is when a grader particularly decides to grade a particular tenant. So I have used this auto incremented grade ID, which will tell which grade is latest and which is old. So let us move to our tenant and check how they. Okay. Okay, so for this tenant, the tenant customized grading criteria that I have provided is like this. I guess the server is closed right now. Okay, so the server is running. Okay, I will choose this file and I will upload this. This will create a simple jar, and now for this particular jar I will simply give if it is correct or not. Let us think that this is correct and give 10 marks. Now this is Akshay's portal, so it will have ID of 1. So when I enter this, it says record has been entered, and let us check in tenant specific data. The entry for tenant ID 1 should be there. Okay, so it was done. So let us also check for another tenant and make sure it is working. So this image has been created. For this I will say this is not correct and I will grade like D. I will enter this. Now this is another tenant with tenant ID 102. Let us quickly check if it is there, and yes, it is there in this AWE instance. Now let us also check for this particular tenant. Let us see if the file is created. Okay, I guess this server is also closed. Okay, this is for Apur. Okay, this is for Suchi. Okay, so the server is running. Let's quickly check. Let us take this input, upload this zip. Okay, so this image is created. For this image I have given this particular completeness. Let us think if this is 50% correct and give it 5 marks. So this particular tenant has ID of 103. So in this particular table another entry of 103 should be there, which is there. Now for Apurva tenant, let us again choose a simple test case, upload this zip, and this will give me this error. Okay, this image. Let us think if this is partially correct, we'll give this 5 marks, and in comment section I will enter this is partially correct and I'll enter it. So this says record has been entered, and as the tenant will have ID of 104. Okay, so this was entered here, this was partially correct. So this is how my RDS is working, and this entire this is how I developed this entire project. All the points all the important points have been like pointed out and everything. Thank you for giving me this chance of working on this very good personal project. I learned a lot of things during this development. Each and every all the code is available on GitHub, and thank you very much and goodbye. Hello everyone, I will demonstrate the test case 4 for 281 personal project. So these are the individual servers that are running on different ports, and my portal is running on port 3004. Let us log in with Gradle credentials and run test case 4 for each of the tenants. For Akshay, I will choose test case 4, and this is the diagram that was generated. For Laura, I will do again the same, and this is the diagram. For Suchi, this was the diagram that was generated by the jar. And for Apurv, okay, so basically because I tore down all my AWS configuration, I am just demonstrating the working of my tenants jars on my localhost. So thank you.